don't do that! I thought we were having a nice day!
Hey there, marvelous horror fans! The internet is obsessed with obsession, and of course, include me among the obsessed. We literally have 2 videos on our channel speaking about obsession, and guess what? We've already brought out a 3rd video for the series, and there's actually a valid reason behind this. Just recently, the director of the film, Curry Barker, opened up in multiple interviews, and according to the reports, he's teased the possibility of a sequel, or even a possible expansion of the whole Wishes Gone Bad universe. That begs these questions. Wait, is the sequel actually coming? If yes, then what is it going to be about? And is it tied to Curry Barker's upcoming horror projects in any way? We're going to have the answers to all these questions in this video. But remember, a lot of this is still speculation based on interviews, fan discussions, and whatever Barker himself has said publicly. So without any further ado, let's start the video.
I'm your freaky Nikki.
Is Obsession getting a sequel? In our previous video, where we explained One Wish Willow, we did talk about how the ending may hint at a potential sequel coming out. Even if it's still pretty unclear whether Barker is going to make a direct sequel or not, it is clear that Barker has at least thought about how Obsession could expand beyond one film. In fact, he's talked about the possibility of a bigger One Wish Willow mythology. How? Let's find out. In an interview connected to Games Radar, Total Film, Curry Barker discussed the possibility of Obsession 2, especially because the rules of One Wish Willow do point to a potential sequel or even the expansion of a whole cinematic universe, if possible. However, at the same time, he did point out a plot hole in his own movie. Self-aware, I see. To quote Curry Barker's lamentation, I mean, it's kind of a plot hole. It's something I don't like to think about too much because it totally doesn't make sense that there's a world of people just making wishes. It really doesn't make any sense at all. If you still remember whatever happened in Obsession, it revolves around a shy music store worker named Bear who carries a silent crush for Nikki. Out of desperation, he takes the aid of a mass-produced magical token named One Wish Willow, which replaces Nikki's soul with an otherworldly entity, due to which bloody consequences ensue, thanks to Bear's unethical way of claiming the object of his unhealthy desire. So, as much as Obsession has been a tale that warns us not to cross limits, it also wraps itself around this token called One Wish Willow. At the end of the movie, we don't see anyone put a stop to One Wish Willows or anything like that. Rather, the token hints at how we must be prepared for more Wish Gone Bad consequences to ensue. Well, according to Barker, if One Wish Willow actually works, which it does in this lore, and people are just making wishes left and right, there would be some crazy stuff, like dragons would exist. And none of that. The world is pretty normal from what we see in this movie, so it doesn't really make sense. Here's my take. Every time someone makes a wish, they enter into an alternate reality where their wish comes true. So you're not experiencing everybody's wish at the same time. And that's why, but that doesn't make sense because the money falls from the ceiling. Yeah, it's broken. And we all know who he's talking about here. It's Ian, played by Cooper Tomlinson, who wishes for $1 billion right in front of Bear. So we're clear about one thing. Obsession 2 is possible, but it's not officially confirmed yet. There's also a very real chance that Barker may prefer expanding the idea through an anthology format instead of a straightforward sequel. However, along with that, there's some good news that Curry Barker has already started sharing. Anything but ghosts. In his interview, Barker himself clarified that he has a full slate, and this includes his next film, which is called Anything But Ghosts, as well as an upcoming A24 Texas Chainsaw Massacre reimagining. Talking about Anything But Ghosts, this is going to be a horror comedy where Barker will himself act alongside, of course, our Ian, aka Cooper Tomlinson, who has also been his longtime creative and writing partner. In a recent interview with CBR, Barker shed light upon this, saying, "I'm really excited. It's about these 2 con artist ghost hunters that just con old women and single dads. But they're really good at it, you know? They can make the table shake, they can make the lights flicker, they've got all the special equipment. They put on a show until they run into a very real, very dangerous dark entity." At the same time, he also spoke to Bloody Disgusting, where he unraveled, "It's so different than Obsession, because the idea itself just lends itself better to comedy. Because it's literally about 2 ghost hunter con artists. It's Cooper and me doing our thing. So it lends itself better to comedy, but it's still set in this super grounded world. It's ghosts being real in a world where ghosts are not real. So yes, you can clearly imagine how fun this next movie is going to be. Both Cooper and Barker are going to play ghost hunters, and alongside them will be Breaking Bad fame Aaron Paul, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Violet McGraw. But then again, is this movie going to share any connection with the world of Obsession? According to Barker, kind of, yes. While the film itself is not going to be a direct sequel or prequel to Obsession, Barker did tease that this film would share a connection with the world of Obsession, and we'll get another chance to see the fateful magic of One Wish Willow. In a recent film panel, Curry said, "Well, in my next movie, you will see a One Wish Willow." And I shouldn't be saying this, there's this news story in the next movie where you hear a news anchor talking about a triple homicide, which doesn't really make sense because Cooper is in the movie. So it's like, Is he Ian, or is he? This seemed to entice the film's own leading actors, who continued to ask each other, is Nikki going to jail? I mean, yes, that exact question did pop up in my mind too, because now that Ian and Sarah die at Nikki's hands while she's under the Wish's control, and Bear dies afterward, blame it on the One-Wish Willow. Which lane will the official story of Obsession now take? Is Nikki going to suffer more, or is she going to become a warning figure in potential sequels, where some other person would be trying to claim their obsession, just like Bear? Is Obsession 2 going to be an anthology? According to Barker, there's a high possibility that Obsession could lead to an anthology series, which could have contributions from various filmmakers, each bringing their own spin on how a desperate wish can go wrong. To quote Barker's words, I obviously have a couple more things that I'm excited about next, but I do see Obsession 2 maybe. Or even what is really exciting to me is maybe an anthology, like a 1-hour episode. Each episode is a different wish that goes completely off the rails. Maybe I'll direct the plot with the same DP and you could invite other filmmakers to give their spin on it. That would be really cool. In other words, the mysterious tale of One-Wish Willow could return in a TV show, most likely an anthology series, where we would see various people becoming entangled in a web of chaos thanks to their desperation. However, we still don't know how the YouTuber turned filmmaker is going to make use of Nikki's storyline in the upcoming expansion, if it happens at all. But we do know that this could be a big deal. The cast and the shooting schedule are still unconfirmed though. It's all just a part of a discussion, or more so a planning stage. But Navarrete did say to Games Radar in a separate interview, I would love to work with Curry again. As we grow and as he grows, I'd like to see how things evolve and how he finds his pocket and rhythm. I think that would be super cool because we already got the opportunity to see the beginning. It'd be super cool to work with him again down the line. Games Radar itself suggested that this would be very Twilight Zone-esque, and it would also be pretty neat if Barker followed the Ryan Murphy or Mike Flanagan approach of bringing actors back in different roles. However, since it's all still speculation, we still don't know much about what Obsession 2 is going to be about, or whether all of this will transform into a full-fledged franchise or a universe at all, akin to the likes of It or The Conjuring. My own speculations. Marvelous Edition. In my opinion, there's a solid chance that one or more sequels or even a prequel-style story could happen in the future. If you remember, early on in the movie, Bear has a conversation with a store clerk, which clearly hints that other people have already used the One-Wish Willow before. If I'm allowed to reference that, the conversation goes on like this. What, because it doesn't work? Or because it did? Ruined their lives. Made them wish they were dead. At the same time, we must not forget that the film has achieved major box office success, which does pave the way for the team to at least consider sequels, spin-offs, or anthology-style expansions. The internet is now filled with fan theories regarding what's going to happen with Nikki as the credits roll. The overall discourse has been interesting, and there's no way the team won't at least consider taking the story forward. And since it's been teased that anything but ghosts will be tied to the world of Obsession through One-Wish Willow, how will the Obsession brains even deter? Last but not least, I'm super excited for Cooper Tomlinson to return in Anything But Ghosts. Whether he's actually Ian again or playing someone else is still part of the mystery. Release date. Talking about the release date of the sequel, it's still not confirmed, especially because Barker has several projects in motion, including Anything But Ghosts and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre reimagining at A24. In fact, the principal shooting schedule of an official Obsession sequel is still not confirmed, because no official sequel has been formally announced yet, even if Barker and the team have talked about possible directions. I guess we'll have to wait till Anything But Ghosts comes out. I feel the upcoming movie may reveal a lot about the future of One-Wish Willow, or even the world of Obsession, and whether any direct or indirect sequels could come later. So that's it for today, guys. If you enjoyed our video, then do consider dropping a like, sharing it with your friends, and commenting your own views in the box below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss any updates. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!